Hey Tim, this is blog number 29 as part of Practicum. Today is March 10th, Sunday night right now, and tomorrow I present my SLP to Youth Opportunities Unlimited. It is going to be the last bit of work needed to complete my internship, and as my Practicum is completed, aside from these blogs, I'm pretty excited about that. But it's going to be a bit of chaos because as soon as I shoot my SLP or deliver my SLP tomorrow and shoot the content for that, I then have to hop in my vehicle, drive to Toronto because Tuesday morning I'm flying out to Boston. So it's going to be a bit hectic 24 hours here for me. Anyhow, this week we are being asked to reflect on our decision to become a teaching professional. I had to think about this one long and hard, and I've been eyeing this one up for several weeks now. I think you're well aware that becoming a teacher was not my first choice. I ideally wanted to promote the trades, and we all know that bit of fiasco that I had with Skilled Trades Ontario and the false promises that came to be with that. But that was my intent, was to travel around speaking to groups of people, talking about the trades, having a bigger impact rather than what I see from the branding that comes from government and things like that, these unrealistic approaches to what technological pathways are for young people. I thought that I provided something different, and it's part of why I started this whole YouTube channel that I started. And I'm glad I did, though, because it's come really beneficial in terms of producing stuff for not only University of Windsor, but in my schools as well. But if I could revisit this decision to become an educator, I don't know that I would have chose this pathway. I honestly don't. I've seen so many things that tell me that I'm out of place, whether it's just in day-to-day interactions with other professionals or the logistics or the bureaucracy of how everything works. I find it to be very restricting in what I can do and what I can't do. I find I'm seeing the lack of supports that are actually out there for educators. I'm seeing the onus that is being placed on us, and I don't see that equal responsibility placed on other entities within education, whether it's the administrative part of things or just at the school board level. I find there are so many false promises, I guess, or empty threats when it comes to dealing with behaviors. And at the end of the day, it really feels like everything is thrown into my lap. And I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way in terms of that. Working for 5 hours a day and doing a little bit of marking at night, pretty great. I thoroughly enjoy not climbing ladders, being on a roof in the middle of winter, or being up in Thunder Bay when it's minus 50 and working 12-hour shifts and being away from my family for days at a time. There's a lot of perks to being an educator, that's for sure, in that sense, compared to my old career. And working in education as a whole and teaching young people the benefits of these careers and the pathways and the opportunities is so rewarding. And I enjoy every second of that. And maybe it's just because the practicum, or not practicum, but the assignment that I accepted, the behavioral assignment that I accepted, that has kind of soured me a bit to education. But then I started to question, maybe it's like that everywhere, and I wasn't at my first placement long enough to notice it. Maybe the school is just a one-off. Maybe it's really bad at this school. I don't know. It's been a revolving door of principals and vice principals at my current school since I started like 4 months ago. So that, to me, that kind of turnover, we talked about how the students were acting out because they had so much turnover in the class that I took over. I kind of feel that way as an educator when my administration turnover is that much. It's like, how do you buy into the system when there's that much inconsistency? I think it's what I'm struggling with. I have zero desire to get involved with anything at my school in terms of extracurricular things. But meanwhile, when I was at my first placement, I would have done anything to get involved in and help out and assist. So I don't know what's happened to me in this short period of time. You know, maybe it's just the stress of trying to get through University of Windsor and complete this. And I'm starting to feel a little bit burnt out. I'm so glad this is wrapping up. Semester 3 is wrapping up now because it's been overwhelming. This last semester has really tried my resolve, I guess. So, I don't know. Knowing what I know now, I don't know that I would have taken this pathway. I enjoy it. I see a lot of hurdles and obstacles that I'm going to have to overcome. But I don't know that this would have been my first choice. You know, I tell people, and maybe that was my fault. Maybe I should have talked to more educators before getting into this, because I talk to other people that are aspiring to leave the trades to become educators, and I tell them, like, this is what I'm facing. This is what I'm dealing with. It's not like working in the trades where you don't have to be diplomatic. You don't have to bite your tongue. There's a lot of hoops to jump through, and there's a lot of P's and Q's to be mindful of, and you're dealing with parents, you're dealing with other teachers, you're dealing with administration, you're dealing with students. And no matter what, sometimes it feels like nobody can be pleased. And I used to just rely solely on my work ethic and the work that I would produce when I was in the field. And that was it. That was my day. And I was paid handsomely for that. And I look at this situation that I'm in now, and maybe it's because I'm a rookie, maybe because I'm a novice, and maybe it gets easier. I keep hearing it gets easier the more that you do it. And maybe my outlook will change. Maybe it is the schooling. I'm just overwhelmed. I don't know. But I'm looking at my current situation. I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't know if this was right. So, I don't know. It's been my emotions have been on a roller coaster for this entire 8 months so far. That's for damn sure. And I'm sure you talk to me, 3 weeks from now, or you talk to me over the summer when I finally graduate and this is done and over with, maybe I'll have a totally different outlook. Maybe when I secure a contract at a school where I'm very much enjoying being a part of that community, everything changes for me. But right now, it feels like it's one day at a time, just trying to get through to Friday. It's all I look forward to right now. It's just trying to get through. So, I don't know. That's kind of where my head's at right now. I love the fact that I'm getting to work with youth. I spent most of my time volunteering with youth for many, many years with organizations in my community. So the aspect of working with youth has been phenomenal. But I'll tell you a story, actually. The other day, I'd left class for the day. I was on my way. So 6th period for me is my prep. So I've been going to do co-op hours to complete that requirement, which I handed in the sheets there for a few weeks ago. But one day when going over to co-op, I was walking down the hallway, and there was 2 students talking, a young lad and a young lady. And this young lad was saying fucking and fucking, fucking, just screaming it. And so as I walked by, I said, hey fella, I said, you gotta tone that down. You can't be talking like that. He goes, who the fuck are you? So I'm a teacher, and I'm telling you right now, don't talk like that. He's like, I don't have to fucking listen to you. I'll do what I want. So I said, all right, how about we take a trip to the office? Shockingly enough, he actually came with me. I thought he was going to say, go fuck yourself. But he came with me to the office. As I brought him into the office, I ran to a vice principal and I said, listen, I brought this young man down. This is what happened. I asked him to stop. He swore at me. He refused to listen. And I go, maybe you guys can talk to him. But as I'm explaining this to the vice principal, this kid had not then turned directly at me and was going like this at me the entire time. And it just showed me how helpless I really am in this career path, because I had to ignore it like it never happened. Whereas if I were on a job site, I could have handled that situation much differently. Because on a job site, that probably would have never played out like that, because there is a mutual respect between most of the tradesmen and the maturity level. And to have some kid making a cry face at me, who's about the size of my forearm, with something else. And it made me really question, is this what I want to do? Do I want to be subjected to this for the rest of my career, life, whatever? I don't know. So that has stuck with me for the last several weeks, thinking about that moment and thinking whether or not I'm right for this. Anyhow, that's where my head's at. Like I said, maybe we'll talk in a few weeks and I'll have a totally different outlook, a sunny disposition once again, because there's been a lot of highs and lows. So anyway, that's blog number 29, Tim. It's about as honest as I can be with you in this moment and how I feel. I look forward to blog 30 coming up next week and seeing you, as always, during the Breakfast Club meetings, because I'm one of your keener students that doesn't wait till the last minute to show up to them. Talk to you soon.